All right, thank you so much for tuning in tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have a wonderful episode of KUAM News Extra. We're talking about a whole lot, and we want to get it started with the Smithsonian Institute because their exhibit Journey Stories is on Guam. Now, right now, our Guam Humanities Council, our good friend, Executive Director, Dr. Kimberly Kihleng, and Tiffany Ruhl. She is with the Smithsonian. So, ladies, Hafaday. Dr. Kihleng, always a pleasure. And Tiffany, Hafaday, and welcome to Guam. We're
Thank you very much.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this, Dr. Kihleng, because you're involved in so many things. I don't want to say exposing, but shining light, let's say, on various aspects of culture and what it means to not only Chamorros, but also to Guamanians. So how does this factor in?
Okay, well, this is actually the fourth partnership that we've had with the Smithsonian Institution Museum on Main Street program. And as you just mentioned, we're hosting Journey Stories. But as we always do, as an organization, we have a local component to the national exhibit to make it relevant to Guam. And to the Chamorro community. And this year we're focusing on military journeys. So we're, Sindalu is the title of the exhibit, Sindalu Chamorro Journeys in the U.S. Military. Mm-hmm. So we chose to focus on a particular aspect of the national exhibit with military journeys because the history of the military and military service has been such an important part of Guam history and particularly Chamorro history.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, Tiffany, does this also include, because, you know, for those of us that grew up here, we remember not only, you know, the military, as Dr. Kihleng said, that, you know, came here and liberated us from Japanese oppression, and then, you know, people that were stationed here over the years, but also in more modern, recent times, building on the concept of journey, you know, like there's so many families that come out here and live here for 2 years. Many stay. Others, you know, like they're stationed here and then move on and everything like that. As far as migratory patterns, maybe, like what does this project entail?
Well, Journey Stories writ large is about stories of immigration, migration, and personal stories as well. Maybe personal stories as far as career or anything like that. It can be taken in a broad manner, but it was started from an exhibit at the American Museum in D.C., American History Museum. That is also called Americans on the Move. And so it was condensed from that larger exhibit down to journey stories that could be taken into small towns throughout America, as well as now Guam, since we've been going to here since 2007. And so it's a great opportunity to talk about a broad range of stories, but also local great stories like this.
Mm-hmm. Are there going to be particular families featured or maybe like distinct periods of time?
Yes, actually it's a very broad sweep of history, and we really use the historical context as a backdrop to looking at the personal narratives, many of which are historical, but also interviews that we've also gathered in preparation for the exhibit. Mm-hmm. So yes, we have individual narratives that speak about those who are currently serving or have served in the military.
What are some of the commonalities you're finding, Tiffany, not only with this project, but maybe the initiative on a grand scale? Like about journeys and the movement of, you know, like of people to a place, from a place, like that?
Well, in history, you always have that push and pull factor. You may be pushed out of a place into a new place, or you go there on your own, and that has an effect on people already there. And so I think no matter where Journey Stories goes, whether it's the mainland U.S. or Guam, there's always those common stories of going to a new place, that journey not only to get there, but what happens once you get there. And then who is already there? How is those interactions and those relationships built? I think those are common themes that you'll find anywhere, and those are great things that people can connect with.
Further to that, what makes Guam distinct?
Distinct? Well, it is a very unique story in that it is an island, and it has its own unique history here, very complex in its own right. And so I think it will be a challenge in some aspect for the local component to really make that connection. But I don't know if Kim has, when you were doing the local exhibit, if you found any of those challenges.
Well, as I pointed out, we tried to focus on particular aspects or themes within the national exhibit and try to bring those kind of to fruition in the local exhibit. And things that we don't particularly address with Journey Stories, with Sindalu, we are going to be addressing in programming. So, you know, one important part of Guam story in terms of journeys is navigation, mm-hmm. right? So we're hoping to partner with TASI and do a program around traditional seafaring and navigation. Mm-hmm. We're also going to be showing a film, right, Island Soldier, which actually we helped fund and produce, that looks at the journeys of other Micronesians in the military outside of Guam.
All right.
So just a lot of different ways we're going to, through our programming, things that we can't specifically address in the exhibit, we'll be focusing on in our associated programs throughout the tour.
Well, thank you so very much, both of you. And please sit tight, and you sit tight out there in TV land, because when we come back, we'll be talking more about the journeys and what Guam's role is in it when KU News Extra continues.